everybody, and welcome back to Triple Chocolate Bagels series, Sat or Sorry. Today we have a very special episode. This is our episode 3. We're going to be covering 2 different apologies today. What are we covering?
So today we're covering the more recent controversies of Will Smith's Oscar slap and Travis Scott's Astroworld tragedy. So we'll start with Will Smith. So, a joke that Chris Rock, the host of the 2022 Oscars, made about Jada Pinkett Smith saying, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. He basically called Jada Pinkett Smith, a woman who recently admitted to suffering from alopecia, G.I. Jane, who is a fictional bald character. The Oscars camera shifted to Will Smith, who notably visibly laughed at the joke, then shifted to Jada Pinkett Smith, who was upset, then shifted back to Chris Rock, and after a minute, we watched Will Smith walk on the Oscar stage and smack Chris Rock across the face. And then there's a notable, everybody heard the thing, the keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
So do you guys have any thoughts on that?
It was just so unbelievably unprofessional. Mm-hmm. It's so embarrassing for Will Smith to, do all that. It's just, as an actor, especially at the Oscars, literally watched worldwide. Yeah. That's so embarrassing for him.
I mean, I thought, watching it live, it was just, is this a joke?
Yeah.
It was kind of oh, is this staged? Is this just a skit? And then, we heard the F-bomb, and it was oh, no, that's not. It's not.
Yeah. Huh. I feel like it is a really interesting situation.
Yeah. Huh. It was almost like when people got upset about the Conan O'Brien and Adam Sandler skit that they did. Adam Sandler was mic'd up, so it was clear it was a skit, but Will Smith, when he screamed from the audience and he wasn't mic'd, it was oh my God, this is real.
Yeah.
And it was just couldn't have been more embarrassing for him.
We actually have something special today. We have a audience reaction in which Daniel went out and interviewed a couple of people and what they thought on the situation.
What was your initial reaction to Will Smith's slap at the Oscars?
Oh damn, he did that?
Well, what's your general opinion on the professionalism of it?
It was completely unprofessional. And do I think he's sorry for it? No, he just did it because his public relations made him do it.
It's taking such a personal problem and just making such a public thing, and then you can just see the headlines spinning it into this massive thing, and and it is because it was in such a public forum, but whatever. It's it's such a quintessential problem of I hate tabloids. It's not. I don't care. It's not our business. And it just we watched somebody's career end in one choice because they were in a bad way, and that sucks. And that's not to be oh, Will Smith has didn't do anything wrong, but obviously he's not in a good way if he's going to get on a public stage and do that. And it's not fun to watch somebody end a career because they're in a bad way. So it just sucks.
I would say that obviously for an awards event like that, it's a loss of decorum. At the same time, I understand wanting to stand up for someone that you love, but come on, be an adult. We're not 7 playing what the 5 fingers say to the face. So yeah, no, I think that it was incredibly immature and totally warranted, and the fact that he lost out on movie deals for 2 years, totally warranted.
Some interesting takes we've got there.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how different some of them were.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now it's time to watch our apology video.
I picked out the main 2 minutes where there's actually an apology. Everything else is just answering questions about why he chose to do what he did. But we're gonna watch the actual apology.
Cool.
So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family. specifically Tony Rock. You know, we had a great relationship. You know, Tony Rock was my man. This is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment.
Yeah. Okay. That seems like a really sincere apology.
I think he definitely touched base on everything he needed to, but I think for me it just sounded so scripted. Like there was a cue card behind the camera.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. It seems like he was really thinking about what he wanted to say, whether or not it was like...
Yeah, and just because something, an apology itself is scripted, I don't think that necessarily makes it insincere.
Mm-hmm.
It just plays more towards that devil's advocate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought that his apology was sincere, but it just feels like the way he did it was like the wrong way. But also, like, we have to think about this is an actor, not like a YouTuber or like an influencer.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess they all have their own way of doing it.
Yeah. Before we determine whether he is sad or sorry, we are going to get into our next scandal.
So this one is a pretty big one and definitely a lot more consequential than the others. So I'll just go ahead and read that now. So Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival was held in his hometown of Houston, Texas. The festival is popularized for its fatality count, where 10 people tragically died at the event. Travis Scott is a hip-hop artist who encourages moshing at his concerts, and that moshing is what led to 10 people being crushed, from which they suffered fatal injuries. It's important to note that Travis Scott claimed to have no knowledge of the severity of the situation while it was happening and was tried in court for criminal negligence, but was shortly after not found guilty of any criminal responsibility. However, multiple lawsuits have been filed against Travis Scott, all of them being settled out of court. Travis Scott then later mentioned the incident in his song My Eyes, expressing remorse for his role in the tragedy. So, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, that is a very, like, heavy situation.
Yeah, definitely. There was, I don't know if I can't generalize and say everybody heard about it, but it was definitely a really big thing, especially like in the music scene. It was just like nothing like that should ever happen at the concert.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any opinions on it?
I do have like very minimal thoughts, but I don't know a lot about Travis Scott as a person. And I know most of the concerts I go to are pretty chill, so I can't ever like picture myself in that kind of situation. But it is truly like tragic and really upsetting that something like this would happen.
Yeah, it's more upsetting because like myself, I go to concerts like have a good time and mosh, and that's what it's for. You go to have a good time and to imagine going to somewhere where you're like, oh, this is gonna be so fun, and then you just don't come home. Like that's bizarre. Like that should never happen.
When you were talking about that, I was thinking of the Ariana Grande incident, the Manchester attack.
Oh,
where,
yes, the bombing.
The bombing.
Let's kind of take a look and see about what other people thought of this situation.
And the Travis Scott incident. Do you think somebody should be held accountable for something like that happens at their event?
Oh, you mean fans dying at a concert? Absolutely. The fans should be responsible. The security, Travis Scott should be ultimately responsible because he knew what was going on and didn't stop the concert. Where I've been to concerts before, Rage Against the Machine, who has stopped playing in the middle of a song because they saw inappropriate stuff in the mosh pit. So definitely as an entertainer, since he made all that money, he's responsible for those people.
Why are we still listening to these people? I don't understand. Like, I'm disappointed in society. Like, so he's a trash human for not caring about people's lives. And then we keep listening to him. Why do we still like Chris Brown after we see him beat, Rihanna?
Yeah.
See how much I know about pop, but like, it's ridiculous. Same thing. We're glorifying people who are bad people because, I don't know, we like sound they make, who can't make good music. Find somebody else. Do better.
Well, he was acquitted by a court of law, so I think he had his day in court. He won. It's said and done. And then people can kind of choose to vote with their wallet, which is kind of like that second half of like cancel culture. Is that like if you want to cancel someone, again, and you don't believe in forgiveness, then you cancel with your wallet. You just don't buy into that stuff. That's kind of where I stand on it.
Well, that was some pretty interesting takes. What do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy how different some people think about the situation, where some people blame him and other people don't. Because, like, well, he did claim that it was like he had no knowledge of any of it happening while it happened, which is like, I believe it. I know a lot of people don't, but like, it is a giant like if you've ever been to a festival like Coachella, do you know how far back that goes? You're not going to see everything that happens in the crowd. You're going to see the first 15 rows.
Yeah. I don't, like, from that far away, it would be really difficult to see.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he saw it or not.
Yeah. The apology that he gave was on an Instagram Live, so we don't have every bit of information on that, but we do have clips that were compiled to generalize the full story of what he said.
Got it.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, you know, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, everyone to, help us figure this out. So if you have any information, please just contact your local authorities.
Any thoughts on the apology video we just watched?
I think it was pretty. I mean, I think that Instagram Live apology videos are always like, it's like fast, like no script, like let's go. I'm gonna go live right now and get down to it. So,
I think it definitely should have been more thought out, because this meme, everybody knows that it got memed to high hell. Like, everybody's seen the video of Travis Scott going, but like, to me, I don't know. I mean, I found the memes funny. It was a very memeable apology, but I do think it also showcased how genuine he was, because he didn't sit there and wait to write a script. He went on live and told people how he felt.
Yeah. And I think especially because he had done it not only while he did it on Instagram Live, but also the fact that he said that they were in the middle of working right now.
Yeah.
And he stopped everything to say this and said, like, I'll keep you updated. I'm just truly devastated by what happened. I feel like it really shows how sincere and how upset he really is by the situation.
Yeah, so like I already said, he was tried in court for criminal responsibility of it, and he was found not guilty. But he also then proceeded to pay for all 10 victims' funerals and financially supported their family if they were the breadwinner.
All right, well, now it is time. We're going to start off with Will Smith, our first scandal. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to ask Bridget, do you think he was sad or do you think he was sorry?
I think that Will Smith was sorry, actually, because I feel like if you go into his head, hearing somebody talk about your wife who's struggling with something and putting in a joke, it's true rage, and I think that he just didn't think it through. Mm-hmm. And his apology reflected that.
So I disagree. I think it was interesting because if you watch the Oscars video, you can see Will Smith audibly laugh at the joke. He goes, a big ha-ha funny. Oh, he thinks it's funny. And then you transition to seeing his wife not think it funny, and then he gets angry. I think there was a lot of time to process the path that he chose to take.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, he wasn't just sneaking. I think he had full control over what he was going to do, and chose to do it anyway.
We have two very conflicting sides, and I personally am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I'm pretty neutral in this situation. I actually don't know like if I think he's sad or if I think he's sorry. But if you guys have any thoughts about what you personally think the situation was like, we would love to hear it in the comment section. Please tell us your thoughts, whether you think that he was sad or if he was sorry, because this situation is one that a lot of people think differently about. All right, now we're gonna move on to Travis Scott. And this time we're actually gonna start with Daniel. Daniel, do you think he's sad or sorry?
Me personally, I would go ahead and say I do think Travis Scott was genuinely sorry. Because it's very obvious that plagued his mind. He felt so guilty for that, and do I think he should have felt guilty? A little bit. It was his event, and he had control over the safety of everyone there. And when you encourage moshing, you have to be aware of the unsafe environment that you're creating, even if it is just for fun. Mm-hmm. And even later mentioning in a song, I'll find a screenshot of the lyrics, but he says that, like, I think the lyrics go that, like, he replays the nights and sees the people who supported him, and he feels so guilty about them. Mm-hmm. But I think he's sorry. I think the Instagram Live definitely showcased that.
Yeah. Okay. Bridget, thoughts?
I think that Travis Scott was sorry, but I think it's not a thing where I would support him after it, just because I feel like it's so preventable. You know, having a lot of security at such a big event is so normalized now after that incident, and I think he should have had that. And I think that it's his event, like you said. You know, it's really his responsibility. So I wouldn't support him after it, but I think he was sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Our first agreement. Yay. Cool. I was going to go ahead and say on this one, I do think he's sorry. I think it was just very sincere in the way that he apologized, that you could tell he was sorry. It is his responsibility. Yes, I agree with Bridget. Like, yeah, he is completely responsible for that. But it's nice to know that he did actually feel sorry for his actions.
There's a very big difference between somebody who, like, should have been, like if you place responsibility on somebody and they refuse to pick it up, that's on them, and that makes them a jerk. But, like, it was his responsibility, and he also took responsibility, so.
Yeah. That concludes today's episode of Triple Chocolate Bagel series, Sad or Sorry. Guys, if you want to see more YouTuber apology analysis videos, click the subscribe button, and please share it with anyone that you think would enjoy our videos. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.